Hi friends, today we're going to review Skill 6, Lesson 16. I can read and sort words spelled with W, spelled W and WH. I can read the soccer game and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell words with N, spelled N, NN, and KN, and the tricky word Y. Today we will be working with spellings for the W sound. Say W. Is the W sound a vowel sound or a consonant sound? That's right, it is a consonant sound. Let's look at our consonant code chart. I have two sound spelling cards. The first one is the spelling W for the W sound, and our sample word is wet. By looking at the power bar, is this spelling common or not so common? That's right, this spelling is very common. The next spelling I have for the W sound is WH. By looking at the power bar, is this spelling common or not so common? That's right, it's not as common. And our sample word is when. In your individual code chart, go ahead and trace both of those cards red if you haven't already. Let's look at a spelling tree for the W sound. Here I have the W sound at the base of my tree. I have the W spelling on one side and WH spelling. If you notice, the W spelling, the branch is longer than the WH because that spelling is way more common. Let's look at these words. Wet. Which branch does this word belong? That's right. What about wheel? Awesome job. What about whale? Super. And lastly, whoosh. That's awesome. Tell someone next to you which branch each of these leaves belong. Okay, now let's see if you were right. White. Wheel. Switch. Wave. I can read and sort words spelled with W sound, spelled W and WH. I can read the soccer game and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell words with N, spelled N, NN, and KN, and the tricky word Y. Today's story talks about a soccer game. When people play games, they work together and have fun. These are some spellings you may see in the story. Spelled WH in the word whimpers and while. The N sound spelled KN in knocks, knocked, and knee. The S sound spelled with the letter C in center and nice. And you will see the double consonant spellings CC in soccer, TT in quitter, and NN in winter. Let's review some vocabulary. Shot. In this story, a shot is an attempt to score by kicking, hitting, or throwing a ball into the net or goal, as in soccer, hockey, lacrosse, or basketball. Keeper. Keeper is short for goalkeeper, the player who protects the goal to prevent the other team from scoring. Skins, scrapes or cuts. Pouts, makes a sad face by curling out the lower lip. Wing. The wing is the far side of the field, usually designated as left or right depending on which side of the field is being referenced. State champs, the best team in the state, the winner of the state championship game. Run of bad luck means to have a number of unlucky events happen. Let's read today's story to hear what happens during Grace's big game. The soccer game. Grace has a soccer game this weekend. It is a big game. If she and her pals win, they will be state champs. At the game, Grace sees her pals, Jane and Kim Knox, and their dad, Mr. Knox. All set for the big game? Mr. Knox asks. Yup, says Grace. Good, says Mr. Knox. We can win if we bring our A game. Grace and Mr. Knox slap hands. In the game, Grace starts off with a run of bad luck. She keeps missing the net no matter how hard she kicks. One time she takes a shot, but the keeper blocks it. One time she takes a shot, but the shot is off target. One time she shoots, but gets knocked down and skins her knee. "Arrgh!" Grace yells. She sits on the grass and pouts. "Hang in there," yells Mr. Knox. "Get back in the game," yells her dad. "A quitter never wins and a winner never quits." Grace whimpers for a bit, but then gets up and brushes herself off. She runs and makes a nice pass to Kim Knox out on the left wing. Kim makes a pass back to Grace in the center. Grace has a shot. She swings her leg. Thwack! This time her shot is strong and on target. It shoots past the keeper and into the net. "Yes!" shouts Mr. Knox. "Nice shot!" yells Mr. Spencer. Kim and Jane and the rest of her pals run and hug her. Jane lifts her up. While they are hugging Grace and jumping up and down, the horn sounds. Time has run out. The game is finished. Grace and her pals are the state champs. What will happen if Grace's team wins their soccer game? Grace's team will be the state champs if they win. What does Mr. Knox mean when he says the team can win if they bring their A game? Mr. Knox means that the team can win if they play their best. How does Grace do at the beginning of the game? Grace starts off with the run of bad luck. She kept missing the net. Her shot was off target. The keeper blocked her shot, and she got knocked down. How does Grace feel when she does not play at first? Grace was upset, sad, and frustrated. We know this because she sits on the grass and pouts. What does Grace's dad mean when he says a quitter never wins and a winner never quits? He means if Grace gives up, she won't win the game. She needs to keep playing her best and trying her hardest. Turn in your Skill 6 workbooks to activity page 16.1 on page 71. Why is Grace's soccer game this weekend such a big game? It is a big game because if Grace and her pals win, they will be state champs. Why did Grace sit on the grass and pout? She started the game off with a run of bad luck. What advice did Grace's dad tell Grace when she got upset? Grace's dad yells, "Grace, back in the game. A quitter never wins and a winner never quits." What happens at the end of the game? At the end, Grace scores a goal and her team wins the game. They are the state champs. Let's look at our learning targets. I can read and sort words spelled with W, spelled W and WH. I can read the soccer game and answer questions about key details in the text. I can read and spell words with N, spelled N, NN, and KN, and the tricky word Y. Let's look at our upcoming spelling words. Our spelling words this week use the spelling alternatives we have learned for the N sound. The first word is center. The sounds are S, N, T, center. The next word is nose. O's, nose. The next word is nugget. It, nugget. The next word is running. Running. The next word is winner. Winner. The next word is knit. Knit. The next word is kneel. Kneel. And lastly, we have the tricky word Y. WHY. Why? You're spelling words on page 16.2. For extra practice, you can write these words 3 times each. Let's look at our learning targets. I can read and sort words spelled with W, spelled W and WH. I can read the soccer game and answer questions about key details in the story. I can read and spell words with N, spelled N, NN, and KN, and the tricky word why. Happy learning!